Well, guys, me and Maple, my new Jack Russell, have a video for you guys today. The family said to me, we're home lots now, watching TV, and wouldn't it be nice if Dad had some kind of technology in the house where I could watch one thing in one room and another thing in another room? I reached out to Orei and I said, hey, I think you guys have a product that could solve one of my solutions. Can I get one to try in my house? They said, absolutely, we'll send you something. Gave them kind of an idea of what I was trying to do, and they said, yeah, absolutely. These are very common devices that we have, and a lot of people actually want to do what you want to do. They sent me this UHD48-EX230-K 4K at 60 frames per second HDMI matrix. What this allows me to do is have 4 devices from the family, the Apple TV, 2 IPTVs, and then our camera system, and be able to switch around in each room with these extenders and tell each room what I want to watch. The nice thing about this is I can have all this equipment in my rack over here and not spread all over the house. The only thing I have to do in part 2 is extend some wires in the house here for these over CAT6 and put them behind the TVs. After that, we'll be able to plug in this device in my rack and have it so the family can switch what they want to watch per room. When I was doing the documentation and reading about this, I thought this will be kind of cool because I can just walk up to the device and go, you want to watch this, you want to watch this, or we can all fight about this remote. Now, I didn't know this because I was reading some documentation. A couple weeks ago, before I got this device, they released an app. The app works on your phone. So this just made my life a lot easier. I could put the app on each person's phone, mine, my wife, my kids. They can be in their room and they can launch the app and go, oh, I want to watch the Apple TV on my room. And we can label that. I'm going to go through all of that in video number 2 after I have the stuff mounted and show you guys how I did that and how I programmed this simple device and put the devices behind the TVs. Right now, I'm just going to show you what's in the box, where the ports are and what they do. And in video number 2, I'll show you it installed with some footage and how it's working. Now, just so you know, I did plug it in and plug a couple devices in there, and I put the app on my phone, and it worked great. It was awesome. It worked instantly, actually. Pushed the device, and the picture came up on the screen, and there was audio, video, and it worked great. Now, a couple things we need to know about this. Specs, I'm going to read off the box because I can't, I'm just getting used to my new glasses here and trying to go through the video here. So we have 4K switcher at 60 frames a second, 4 HDMI inputs. They do HDCP 2.2 compliant, 4 HDMI loop outputs, of course, because we have outputs and inputs. By loop outputs, I mean by that is on the back there are 4 outputs per room. So if you don't use this because it's close by, or you have another device you're going to use like a HDMI balun, you can plug it into the back of this and use that to another room maybe that's further away. So they have the option of using the extender transmitter, actually it's not a transmitter, it's an extender, matrix extender, over CAT6, or if you want to get tricky, you can use an HDMI balun on one of the HDMI ports on the back. Up to you how you want to do that, on distance, however you want. Does downscaling. I did play with this because I do have one TV that is only 1080p, and that's in the bedroom. All the rest of the TVs in the house are 4K. So I hooked up this to the box and I ran a 4K signal into this for one of my IPTVs, and it scaled it 100% perfectly on the TV in the bedroom, and it worked great. So I was very happy about that. So I was playing with up and down resolutions and stuff like that. If you do have a pickier TV, you can also force the resolution on the outputs of each device in the zones that you're going to use. So if you're in zone 2, you can say this zone 2 is only using a 1080p TV, only push 1080p signal out of this device. Easy to do. I did walk through the menus playing with this and stuff like that. It was kind of like, oh, it's going to be complicated. It is not. It is very, very, very easy to use, and it makes sense how you go through the menus. Kind of all I wanted to touch on because those are important features for me. There's only one downfall that I found to this device. And it's not really a downfall of the device, it's a downfall of using two devices that are identical. When you have said remote that is controlling your Apple TV or your IPTV or your DVD player, if you have two DVD players, like say, and you want to use one DVD for one room and one DVD player for the other, if you use the remote in one room or the other because you have two remotes and you push play, it's going to push play and send the IR signal out to both players. I did mention this to the developers and I said, you know, that could be maybe something we can figure it out, but I'm going to leave it at that. The only downfall I found is if you're using two identical devices. In my scenario. In your scenario, not many people are going to run 3 or 2 or this identical devices in the actual setup. So I'm going to show you an unboxing, go over some specs, and go from there. Remember, part 2, I'll be showing you a lot more. The app on the phone, how it's connected, all that kind of stuff, okay? We have our 12-volt power adapter with a screw locking collar so it can't fall out if it's in a rack. We have our instruction manual, an RS-232 port to 9-pin DB. We have a USB serial adapter so that way we can program it with this cable. We have an IR infrared remote that we can talk to this device with. We have 4 HDMI CAT receivers. We have our infrared. These go to the devices like the TVs that you want to be pointing at because this accepts the signal from our device. We have our IR outs, which goes to the actual media devices so we can control them through these devices at each TV. And we have the HDMI extender itself. On each receiver, we have a HDMI 2.0 out port, a power supply port that's not included, a IR port, which is where these plug into, a USB mini so we can program these and update the firmware, and we have an RJ45 port that accepts CAT6 cable, not to be mixed up with Ethernet, even though the port is looking exactly the same. On the front of the Matrix unit extender, there is a power button on the front, a power LED, an infrared IR on the front, so we can use our said remote to control these zones with the remote or by pushing these buttons. We have our zone out 1, zone out 2, zone out 3, and 4. This button on the front toggles the inputs we want each zone to be displaying. So example, this one could be looking at HDMI input 2, whereas this one could be on 4, vice versa, whatever you want to set it up. I advise, and keynote, every time you push this button from the factory, it beeps and it's very loud. You can go into the web management port on this if it's connected to the network and disable that. So when you push this, it's silent. It has 2 little fans that pulls air out the back here, pulls air in here and blows it out here because it has a video processor inside, so it does get very warm. On the back, we have our screw terminal 12-volt DC barrel jack and our zones. I'm going to call them zones because there are 4 zones right here and they're labeled out 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have our inputs that we can assign to whatever zone we want as we're using it. So 4 can be on here and here. Actually, you can have 4 on all of them if you wanted to, 1 at a time. We have our IR outs that are these little guys, and they actually say IR out on them. So these go to the devices that will be right here that'll sit close to this device that you want to control, i.e. your DVD player or whatever you are going to be plugging into that you want to send this signal to for that device. And those plug into here. On the end here, we have our RS-232 that this cable will plug into so we can program it. And beside that, we have a Ethernet jack. Notice that it says TCP IP. So this is your Ethernet jack on here so you can plug it into the network and manage this via web app or your phone. I'll go over the phone details. This says RJ45. These are not Ethernet ports. You cannot plug these into a switch. These are direct RJ45 from this unit to this unit. You can't have anything in between here, so it has to be a direct cable. You can have a coupler, but nothing else. You can't have anything active, or this unit may not work properly after that. And it says that in the manuals. I'll highlight that for you guys. This device is powered by this port. So when you put power to this device and you plug this into here, it does power this device. So you don't need a power supply for here. The only downfall that I've found out from this unit is if we have one of these connected to our device, our receiver at the TV, and it passes an infrared signal from here into one of these ports, this signal gets blasted out to all of these on this side of the network or this side of the device. So if you have two of the identical devices on this end that you're going to be controlling and plugging into here, this signal isn't direct per port. So you can't separate them and isolate them. So if you send a signal out of here and you only want it to control this one, well, it doesn't. So it actually repeats the signal out of all of these. It's the only thing that I found as a downside on this, because I was going to hook up two IPTV boxes to this, a DVD player, and then my camera system for the family to see. But since I'm going to have two identical devices, this signal would repeat and talk to both devices and cause it an issue. So I have to figure out another device to use or not use it. That's my video. Maple probably wants to go out for a walk around the block. As I said the word walk, now she's ready to go. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, oh, this could get hard. Maple doesn't have any questions, but questions or comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe, and video number 2 we'll go over some more details and stuff like that for you guys. Oh, kisses. And you guys have a great day. I'm going to go take this dog for a walk, and hopefully she'll allow me to video edit this for you guys. And yeah. Hi. Okay, see you guys later.